Good evening, everyone, and welcome to another episode of Raising Bulls, brought to you by the Beautiful Game Network, Roughneck Scarves, and of course, Icarus FC. We're the only podcast dedicated to the New York Red Bulls 2 of USL Championship, a league that used to play. Not so much now, but that's all right. They're getting back to it. We'll be able to see them soon. I guess, it's unlikely, I think, that they're going to come back this summer, but I guess we'll see what happens. It sounds like July is the kind of time frame that everybody's aiming for right now. Today on the show, talk to Deri Corfe. He's a first-year player for New York Red Bulls 2. He was the League 2 Golden Boot winner and MVP 1 year ago. Came onto the team. He's playing sort of a hybrid winger or striker. We haven't really seen him out there yet, so we don't know exactly. We just know what John had talked about ahead of the season. And it was a nice talk. It was nice to talk to him and another Liverpool fan. Always like to talk to them. I do make a little light of the idea that, of course, the year that they might win the championship, the season looks like it's going to be called off. I could also just be pessimistic there, but I hope everyone knows that was just in jest and not serious. Obviously, there's some bigger concerns right now than who wins the Premier League. In any event, I've enjoyed doing some of these quarantine streams. We've got another one coming up. Streams? This is not a stream. I don't know what I'm doing. We got another one coming up next week. But for now, just enjoy my conversation with Deri Corfe. Thanks for listening, guys. And we're back. We've got more quarantine content for you guys. And joining me today, it's Deri Corfe. Hey, Deri. How you doing?
I'm great, thank you. How are you?
I'm doing very well. Does anybody ever ask you if you're a fan of Letterkenny?
Of what?
That's a big no. There's a character on a show called Letterkenny named Deri. And
oh, no, I have no idea.
Fair. All right. So clearly you're not watching a lot of TV, or maybe you're not. What are you doing to keep busy during all this?
Well, we're doing a lot of workouts at the minute on like Zoom and stuff with Eric. And we're also doing some conditioning work. He's setting programs for us to go to the field and do a lot of running. But other than that, I'm playing a lot of Xbox, Call of Duty Warzones, to help time pass by. That's sort of what I'm doing at the minute with my friends. But yeah,
little PvP action.
Yeah, exactly.
Right on. How weird is it to be doing team meetings and sessions over Zoom?
Yeah, it's definitely something that it's hard to get your head around, but it's definitely something that needs to be done. We've got to keep busy, keep ticking over, prepare for when the season, may come back. So it's important, and it keeps the team camaraderie up as well.
When you guys talk about the season this year, does it feel like it's getting too far away now to get back and to really complete it the right way?
It's hard to say, really. We're just taking it day by day, and whatever the league comes up with, we're happy to stand by them and just go with it.
Right. You came to the team from the lower divisions of USL. In fact, you won the Golden Boot, and I believe were the MVP that same year, last year. What's the jump been like for you from that to what it's been like at the Red Bulls?
It's definitely been a big jump, I think. The Red Bulls, they have a very high demand when it comes to intensity of play. And playing in the USL League 2 and the Summer League, it's a bit more, light and a bit more easy to do, I guess, because it's like the off season for the college. So it's still very competitive, but coming into a professional environment, as you can imagine, the demands are much higher, and you've got to be on the top of your game every day because the players around you are at the same quality, if not better.
And you were playing in the same division as the Red Bull U23s, right?
Yeah.
Was that at all weird? Were they courting you at that point, or did you have any clue?
No, I didn't have too much idea about that actually. I just play in every game as it comes in the summer, and
Yeah.
then after my college season, that's when I started to have a better understanding of like they were interested in me.
Were you one of the people who were invited to the local combine?
Yeah, I went to the combine in December with one of my teammates, and it was a really good experience. I think that's what really helped me get on the map with them.
And then you got to travel in preseason with them. So a lot of change all at once for you, right? So you just finished college, you get drafted by the Red Bulls, and I mean, I guess you had some idea because you were at the that like winter local combine, but it still had to be a nice feeling getting drafted.
Oh, definitely. You know, being an international as well, I know the chances are a bit slim, and you know, to get my name like called out was, you know, it was a very proud moment for me and my family. And I was back home in England as well, so I had a few of my friends round watching it, which was quite nerve wracking.
Did you just come here to the U.S. to go to school?
Yeah, so I went to the US in like 2016 at a small NAIA school called Rio Grande, and that's where I started my college career.
What brought you out there?
Honestly, you know, I had good contact with an English coach who basically just we had a very good connection, and I just trusted him and thought, okay, I'll go there and see how it is. But to be honest with you, I didn't have too much idea of the divisions, the levels. It was just like, oh, I needed a fresh start. I needed somewhere to play football again, and you know, fall back in love with the game.
What had happened previously that made you fall out of love with the game?
As you can imagine, in England as well, you know, it's a very high level. And during my time at Man City, it was like the best times of my life. But you know, sometimes you're not playing. You know, opinions, and it can be a difficult time for a player when you're not playing. And I was just like wanting to enjoy football again, just get back playing, and just being my old self again, basically.
Does it feel like maybe there's limited opportunity because of in an academy like that? I mean, you have so many spots that are available to any one player, and that is constantly closing because there's so many players that are up for it.
Yeah, completely agree. You know, especially at Man City, it's look at the players they've got on the first team.
Right.
To even like break into that would be, I don't even know what the chances are, but it's very, very low. And then even to progress from the under 18s to the under 23s is still a big jump as well, as there's a lot of like foreign players who come over who are very, very good players. And then you've got even the best players in England come in from all the different clubs in the country because they get the pick of the bunch basically.
Right.
So you've got to be at the top of your game.
And coming over here, so you went from what I would imagine would be a pretty intense academy life with Man City, and then college, which is very different. Especially, I mean, you got the shorter seasons. You're not training as much or for as long. I would imagine it had to be bizarre, right?
Yeah, it definitely was, and it was very bizarre going to Rio Grande. I don't know if you know much about it, but you know the people are great, but it's in the middle of nowhere basically.
Yeah.
So you know, coming over from England and thinking I was going to, you know, to a typical place in America, not doing much, and turning up and there's only one McDonald's, one Subway, and a Bob Evans, you know, breakfast place. That was it. You know, it took me back a little bit. And, yeah, it was, you know, it was hard to get my head round. And but in terms of like the college season, yeah, definitely, it's very intense. It's very compact, and you know, you can get injured very easy, and you can miss like 5 games in a space of 2 weeks.
Yeah, and that I mean that's like an eternity in the college season too.
Yeah.
What was something that maybe surprised you besides the sparseness um, of your college surroundings? What was something that surprised you when you got here?
Uh, just just how like school sports are so like highly praised and fans take notice of it. In England, like university sports aren't really followed that great. Uh, Whereas over here, you have like the NCAA and you have loads of fans turning up to games, people playing. soccer, basketball, and it's a great event for people. I think that's what took me by surprise the most, is just how people follow it so much.
Very fair. And now you're with Red Bull. The season gets kind of crazy because of the stoppage, and you'd only really just begun. But what was your feeling in terms of like how you were settling into the squad and how the squad was coming together? Were there any players maybe that made that transition easier?
Yeah. So I'm living in the house right now with Preston and Seb, and they made it very easy for me to get settled. They invited me round to the house a lot before I moved in. Got to know everyone really well, and the team as well. We all get along really good. We went to pre-season together, so as you can imagine, we were with each other every day for like the space of a week or two. So I settled in pretty quick. I'm quite an outgoing guy, so I can find my place pretty easy.
That's got to be important right now too, because everybody's just kind of stuck together for the moment.
Yeah, it's a different situation.
Well, Derek, this has been fantastic. If you're ready for it, I will subject you to the lightning round.
Sounds good to me.
All right. First up, popcorn, yes or no?
Yes.
Star Wars or Star Trek?
Star Wars.
Marvel or DC?
Marvel.
Super Mario or Sonic the Hedgehog?
Super Mario.
Favorite team to play as in FIFA?
Liverpool.
Excellent. Oh, I forgot that you're a Liverpool guy. Can you believe the sort of? I mean, it's ridiculous, and this is a very very serious situation rather for everyone involved. But of course, the year where it seems like they finally will win the title, global catastrophe.
Yeah, it's it's just it's very very weird. Like the whole thing is definitely a weird situation, but obviously they've come so close to winning it. As a Liverpool fan, you want them to get the trophy one way or another, but everyone's health and the rest of the world is more important than Liverpool winning the Premier
Oh,
League.
100%. It's just it's one of those things that if I had read it, I wouldn't believe it.
Yeah. Yeah.
Okay, and last but not least, who has the worst haircut on the New York Red Bulls too?
Sharif.
Oh no, he's racking up the early votes. We're gonna have to talk to him soon and see what he says.
He's gone for the skinhead.
Yeah. Nice. Well, Deri, thank you so much for coming on. I hope that you and your family and everyone in the house stays healthy and safe, and hopefully this is all done sooner rather than later.
Thanks for having me, and same to you too.
Thank you very much. Well, that's today's show. I hope you guys enjoyed it. I hope it offered a little bit of sunshine in this otherwise weird and bleak time. Thank you for following along. I haven't been doing the sign off as normal throughout any of this. I feel like it's not that time. But of course, we're brought to you by BGN.FM, Icarus FC, and Roughneck Scarves. Please go out there. Well, don't go out there. Stay home. Be safe. Keep taking precautions. Let's get through this thing together, and we'll keep bringing you content when we can. Thank you very much, and have a good night.